Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
I will record now. Got it. I will record here to make sure I'm recording on this computer. And I am recording now. And this is episode number 170. All right. In 3, in 2, in 1. Hey, Jenn.
Hey, Dave.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast. Welcome back to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. I am Dave, and that is Jenn. And we're here to talk for the next few minutes about Disney and travel and fun stuff. We got some promotions and some haunted houses. We'll talk about that. And of course, we'll talk about the treasure. The treasure of Disney.
The treasure.
The Disney treasure. The newest ship coming out. We got a big reveal on that, I guess, in the last day or so. And we'll kind of dive into that. And Jenn, you can kind of talk about your role in building the ship and the people you talk to and stuff. Because, you know.
Yes, when I built the ship. Exactly.
When Bob called you to say, Jenn, what should this ship look like? You can tell us why you wanted it to be called the treasure and modeled after Aladdin. So we'll get to that. We'll get to all that. So, Jenn, how did you Disney this week?
Oh, wow. Gosh. This week, I guess the main way I Disneyed was I started preparing for a trip to Disneyland Paris.
Ooh, when is that going to happen?
Well, in October, it's Brady's birthday. So we are going
nice.
Overseas. We're doing London and Paris. And I always said that the next time I was in Paris, I would do Disneyland Paris. So just going to do a
Good
day,
idea.
not doing a full stay, but just
now,
just
if I'm not mistaken, he was going to go for, and you can say his age if you want to. I'm not going to spell that out, but he was going to go on a very important birthday to Fiji or to the Polynesians a couple of years ago. Bora Bora in 2020
was the idea.
And of course, 2020 happened. And blew everybody's plans asunder and aside and crazy. And so that got pushed off. So is this kind of a makeup trip for that? Or
well, so not exactly. So his big birthday was actually in 2022.
Okay.
And so we were but back in 2020 and 2021, 2021, we said, oh yeah, we're going to do Bora Bora for his 50th.
Right.
He doesn't care.
That's right. It was last year because you guys ended up coming to Disney.
But we ended up
Yes,
coming to
that's
Epcot
what it
40
Okay.
because we ended up being free because we decided to build a house instead. And a house is not cheap. So this year is Bora Bora is still on the horizon at some point. But for this year, since we didn't do a big birthday trip last year, it was more of a hurricane stressful trip. So
Oh yeah. Oh,
I mean, it was a lot of fun once we were there, but little crazy. We thought, you know what, this would be really fun. He's been wanting to go back to Paris. We've been wanting to go to London. So we actually earlier this year started talking about it, started planning it, and then we'll put Bora Bora off here another couple years. So
you've kind of got one Bora covered, but you really want to go when you have both Boras.
Yeah, you want to have both Boras.
Yeah,
really,
both Boras. Because one Bora is just fine.
It's just boring.
It's kind of Bora-ing, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's wait till you get both Boras. That's good. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I got my Skyliner shirt on, which is actually like a Christmas shirt, but I still wear it all summer because I love the Skyliner. And of course, today we both have been Disneying because a Disney promo dropped this morning.
Indeed, it did.
Kind of out of the blue, and it's one of those you always have to be prepared as a Disney travel planner. You just never know. You get a phone call at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. from a fellow travel agent.
Oh, hey, because you're an hour ahead.
Hop online.
You're an hour behind us.
Go ahead and hop online real quick. Okay, what's going on? Well, just get on there. So they dropped a dining promotion. Now, I made the joke in past weeks that, hey, I wonder if Disney's going to ever offer free dining again. Of course, all of us are like, no, please no.
We were like, stop.
Is as close to free dining as Disney's going to get, I think, for a while. And it's basically the dining card. They call it the Stay, Play, and Dine at Disney World. Here are the dates, and I'll get to what it is in a second, but here are the dates. October 27th through November 1st, November 25th through the November 29th, December 9th through the 25th, and then most Sunday through Tuesday nights, January 9th through March the 5th of 2024. Now, and so those are the dates. Now, basically what this is it's a digital dining card. You don't get a physical card, although I guess if you really begged for one, they may give you one. Talk to the resort about that. But it's on your app. And it's up to $1,000 because you get per night per room, not each person, if you have 5 people in a a 5th sleeper Port Orleans Riverside room, you're not banging out 5 gift cards per day. It's per room per night of your stay, minimum 4-night stay, and you have to have a 4-day park ticket. Could be base or park hop, either one, minimum there.
Yes.
And for a deluxe villa or deluxe resort for Disney, it's $200 per night per room. For moderate, it's $120 per night per room, and for value, it's $60 per night per room. So honestly, if you're at Port Orleans Riverside for a family of 4, you have 1 room for 10 nights. You're on an extended vacation. That's $1,200 right there. Now, of course, you're seeing the headlines, and Disney's promoting this as up to $1,000 per night. That's on the card. They will give you 2 cards. So if you have over $1,000, or if you have, let's say, a 7-night stay at the Polynesian, that's $200 per night. That's $1,400. They'll give you $1,000 and a $400 gift card as well.
Well, and this is understanding based on how it worked last time. So we should just always make that caveat. So
now there are a few restrictions, and I'm not going to run through all of them because I would encourage you to look it up. You can go to aponastartravel.com /blog, or just click on the blog there. It's the first post. But dining locations at the Swan and Dolphin, at the Swan Reserve, the hotels in the Disney Springs area, not the official ones, not the official Disney hotels, but like the Hampton.
So not like Saratoga Springs. You're not talking because that's considered Disney Springs area. You mean
and a few others. Four
Good
Seasons,
Neighbor
Bonnet Creek,
hotels, etc.
Exactly. So, and you can use this all the way up to those dates and stuff, and it's given to you whenever you get there. It's a great deal. It really is.
It's a great deal. It really is.
The dates are somewhat early on in the year. They're a little bit limited, like 4 days here, 5 days here, but it's several weeks in December, and then it carries on into the spring, March 5th, which is the really
only
nice.
promotion available at this point for spring. And
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen. If you check in, say on March the 5th for a 5 or 6 night stay, would you get the gift card for that entire stay?
Is it out through March the 4th or March the 5th? Regardless, March the 5th. Then if you check in, typically, again, assuming that your resort is available, blah, 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 then it, yes, because the other little caveat on the promos is it's for most days, Sunday through Tuesday. Now that doesn't mean that you only have a 2-night stay, folks. That just means you have to check in on a Sunday, Monday, or a Tuesday.
Correct.
So if you would check in the 5th, your length of stay.
Correct.
Again, assuming your resort is available.
Right. And if you're thinking to yourself, this is a lot to remember, you throw this in plus Genie Plus, I'm a little confused. That's why you call a travel planner.
And it's okay. We'll keep you straight.
Travel. We'll be happy to keep you straight on that. So now that we plugged our stuff well enough, let's get to some news. All right, so quick news here, of course. We had the dining promo that came out today. We talked about that. Halloween Horror Nights are now in full swing, Jen, and I'm excited about this because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not a haunted house girl, are you?
That's going to be negative, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, neither. I am not a haunted house girl myself, or a guy for that matter. But I want to run through these real quick because there's 1 or 2 of these that seem interesting. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Park. They set up these houses all around the park. And it's a separately ticketed event. It's like the Not So Scary Halloween Party on steroids. This one's not for kids.
Except it's scary.
Exactly. And they have scare zones. They have people in costumes. They hire professionals to come in and basically scare you. They have a Stranger Things house. Try to escape the curse of the Vecna. So there's that. Some of this art for some of the houses is terrifying. The Exorcist, An Evil Reawakened, which there's a new Exorcist movie coming out. I had no plans on seeing it. It looks terrible.
No, thank you.
The Last of Us, which is based on the HBO series that came out not too long ago, a very popular series. Chucky, Ultimate Kill Count. And I think this would actually be more campy and fun than scary. That'd be one I might consider going in. Monsters Unmasked, 4 Universal Monsters, 1 New Nightmare. And remember, Universal owns Jekyll and Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback. They own a lot of those old monsters.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this would be terrifying, but it would be a fun one to go through because Jekyll Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback, and the Invisible Man are all in that particular house.
I feel like the Invisible Man would be terrifying. That would be.
I mean, especially if you can't see him.
Invisible.
Right? Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. Your soul is a price he's willing to pay. That's a character that comes out for Universal Halloween. I don't know a lot about him. Yeti, Campground Kills. This is what happens if things in Expedition Everest goes nuts.
Sasquatch?
because
Sasquatch.
Because Jen, Yeti or not, here they come.
Oh, stop it. No. Just no.
When you have 2 warlocks of great power turning into dragons after trying to take a spell book, your friends are caught in the epic battle. It's called Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate. Jen, no matter who you choose, you lose. Blood Moon Dark Offerings. They have one called The Darkest Deal, which is about a musician who trades his soul for musical glory. That sounds terrifying too. And so those are your offerings there. And we will, I can get you this. We can get you those tickets at Halloween Horror Nights if that's something you guys are interested in.
But they are selling out. So
they are selling out.
I
those
mean,
things do
it's
sell out.
super popular. Like people plan huge trips.
Yep.
Around
and
this.
you can actually plan your trip around it and let this be something that you go to while you go to Universal.
And honestly, you would want an express pass because there are so many houses. And it's
I can't express to you, pun intended, basically. I can't express to people the importance of the express pass because it is so fantastic. It is so good. Okay, so on months like September, when you're not at Halloween Horror Nights, maybe it's not something you're like, I gotta have an express pass. The lines aren't as long, it's not as bad, whatever. You go October, November on into Christmas, the lines are gonna be insane. Or events like this, the lines are insane itself.
Insane.
And so Universal, they have the premium resorts, which are like the deluxe resorts included. The express pass is included,
but not for Halloween Horror Nights.
But not for Halloween Horror Nights. You have to pay extra, and it's worth it. Really, if you can pony up the money for the Halloween Horror Nights, pony up the money for the express pass. Just do it, because they're also offering. This is the last thing on Universal. I know quasi producer Heather's like, why don't you talk Disney? Because Universal, and so Universal is now offering a 2-park 3-day ticket, and with a Volcano Bay option. Basically, you purchase your 3-day ticket, you get 2 days free. That's replacing the promo that was happening over the summer. This is the new one coming now, just released this past week. So Universal ticket deals are pretty good if you want to go for a couple of days. And so hoping to go down there in November. We have an agent, one of ours, Eric, is actually staying at Universal for this week, and he's down there doing Halloween Horror Nights. And so hopefully he will give us a good report and tell you all you need to know, give us all the content. And Jen, I'm sure you probably will be like, I can't wait to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
I can think of, and no offense to Universal, I can think of nothing I would rather not do, because I am not into horror in the slightest, like not even a little bit. Like I'm a more Mickey's not so scary, like ooh look, it's spooky, it's the Sanderson sisters. Like I am not like ooh ghosts jumping out at me, even though I know they can't touch me. Like I knew.
It's one of those things where when I watch like horror movies or scary movies, I don't even mind the movies where you have like a bad guy who's doing horrible things to people with whatever he does with
I mind that
that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying I should watch these things, and I'm not saying you should watch these things at all. But
and I won't.
Those movies I can handle. I don't like the supernatural things. I don't like the weird thing. There was this. I'm not even gonna say it.
Don't even say it. No, you know what? I don't need that. No, thank you.
Let me just say, and I'm not gonna go into detail, but I remember watching a documentary about ghosts when I was like 8 years old, and I still remember that. And I'm like, it's dark in this house. I think I'll go upstairs where other people are. It's crazy. I'll tell you that story later to give you some nightmares.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Speaking of dreams, let's talk about the Disney Treasure, not the dream, of course. Now, Jen, have you been, aside from the Treasure, have you been on every ship that Disney has to offer?
You know what? I actually have not. I have not been on either of the classic ships. So the Magic and the Wonder. Okay. I have not been on. I know you've been on the Magic.
I've been on the Wonder.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. You were on the Wonder. Yep. Agent Katie has been on the Magic and loves it. Nice. I know Marcy loves you.
She does. She really does.
Yeah. She also loves the Magic. But so I've only heard amazing things. But yeah.
Nice. I say I've been on the Wonder. I'm guessing they probably have had a dry dock at least once since then. This was 20 years ago, literally, almost 20 years ago. So while I've been on the Wonder, I've got lots of pictures from it, and I loved my time on the Wonder. There's probably a lot of things that have changed about it, and I probably couldn't tell you with certainty of like, oh my gosh, make sure you go to this particular pub, or go to that lounge, or go to this restaurant, or go see this pool. I'd be like, I remember it was fun. This is before they had the Aqueduct and the Aquamouse, like coasters on the thing. Well, the Disney Treasure is coming out and going to set sail December 2024. We'll be able to book this starting really next week for some of the
late next week for the Pearl, and I have the dates scribbled down here on a piece of paper that I cannot currently locate, but yes.
Welcome to my world.
Because I was like, I was like noting things down as I was watching a webinar, but yes, they are coming out very soon. Late next week, we'll be able to start doing like Pearl. And then it'll of course move to Platinum. There'll be a day for Golden Oak and Club 33. There will be a
20th is when General
20th is like everybody can.
Yes.
So yes.
Yep. And it's going to be exciting. If you're interested in going on that maiden voyage, hop on that like right now, because that thing will fill up like that.
Super fast. And
I'm not even sure it'll make it to the 20th.
Honestly, I don't know that it's going to make it to the general public. It'll probably sell out with
it just is what it is. But let's go through some of the highlights real quick, and you can kind of chime in here too, because I know you watched the presentations like I did, and saw a lot of the things going on, and you can probably talk about some of the differences too with some of the other ships. But, they're going to have the Plaza de Coco. It's the first theatrical dining experience themed Disney and Pixar film. It's sort of like the Arendelle on the Wish.
Yes, that's how I'm picturing it. Yeah.
You'll basically have 2 nights here. You can have 2 nights here. On the first night, the story of Miguel and his familia will continue where it left off in the film as they gather in the Mariachi Plaza to take your family on a colorful musical-filled journey, including a dinner with modern twists on Mexican fare. Your family will be invited to join Miguel, his parents Enrique and Luisa, and Abuelita Elena for a festive gathering that honors the heritage of music and love. During the 7-night cruises, you get not just 1 but 2 chances to go to this restaurant. And the second time, he will reunite with his great-great-grandparents, Hector and Mama Imelda, as he's transported to the town square in Santa Cecilia with the help of his magic guitar. By the way, I'm going to pat myself on the back for hitting all those names perfectly. Boom.
Nicely done.
Exactly. I didn't appropriate anybody. Yeah. So there is that. And I'm reading from some of the Disney websites here. For your sweet tooth, they're going to have Jumbo Sweets, which is reminiscent of the popular ice cream parlor, Jumbo Cafe, from Zootopia. And this is going to be, I'm assuming this is taking
like where
the place
Vanellope's.
Like Vanellope's, or I guess Joyful Sweets.
Joyful Sweets on the Wish. Right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just on the Dream, so that's why Vanellope's.
On the Wish. And this is one of those ice cream parlors that will cost you extra. So while most things are included, don't walk in there expecting to get a big bowl of gelato and a macaroon for free. That's going to cost you a little bit, which,
it's not terrible, but it's
everything else you already paid for. So you can pony up the $6 for some ice cream. Come on, don't be cheap. Theme park adventures on the high seas. The first time the nostalgia and lore from the theme park attractions will come to the cruise line with a unique lineup of Disney parks. The Skipper Society, which is a themed lounge near the Grand Hall,
themed like the Jungle Cruise.
The Jungle Cruise, exactly. So instead of visiting backside of water, which you don't want the backside of water or the front side of water on your ship.
Not on a cruise.
No. The venue's natural colorways and camp style furnishings will pair with sly tributes to the trusty dry-witted skippers for an elevated, playful atmosphere. How excited are you for this?
I actually think this is going to be a really cool space. Like, I really want to go into this space very badly.
Yeah, this looks pretty great.
At first, I actually thought they were going to do like an Adventurers Club type thing, and I almost lost my mind. And then like Jungle Cruise, okay, still great. So I'm so excited.
The next ship. Honestly, I could see that happening on the next ship or two, doing it like Adventures Club, especially if it's like on the adults only deck, like Adventures Club for the adults or whatever. That would be great. I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, why not? The kids got their own Mouseketeer Club. Why can't we have
Adventures Club? Whatever.
Our own club. So if you've ever been on the Wish, you'll recognize there was a little bar restaurant called Keg and Compass. Well, this is going to be the Periscope Hub.
20K.
20K, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is really exciting as well.
So cool. And, I love that.
I've never seen that movie. Is this a movie I should watch?
I feel like it's kind of a little bit classic. I feel like you should watch it. I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I know the song, The Whale of a Tale of a Tale, The Whale of a Tale or Two, which, by the way, the lyrics, not that family friendly. I mean, my man gets around.
I mean, it was, when was it put out?
Like 1950 or 55?
Oh, no, like 60s?
No, this is like 50, something like that.
50s?
It was, let's see. Let me look. Hold on. You think
I mean, regardless, I mean, they weren't, it wasn't written for kids.
No, it's one of those things where you could talk about your 1954 with Kirk Douglas and James Mason.
Gosh,
or it's one of those things where you could talk about your extracurricular activities with the kids around and everything would be fine. And not so much. Folks, if you've never seen the lyrics, I'm not saying you're going to find like something terribly raunchy and whatever. It's a little like, oh, okay. All right.
Like, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, you're a man who gets around town.
Great.
I see that. That's awesome. Very good. The Periscope Pub. It is going to be themed after the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was the attraction at Walt Disney World from 71 to 94. They will be designed of a submarine-style interior, which will call upon 19th century steampunk influences with polished metal and industrial touches. And I mean, I'm looking at the pictures. There's actually like periscopes in the restaurant itself.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're going to see, if anything, although it would be cool to actually have a
I
visual
feel like we'll
of
see some
outside, or maybe, more than likely it'll be like a preview for the next 10 minutes for the next Disney movie, like they do at Hollywood Studios with One Man's Dream.
I don't know about
like,
that.
oh, am I going to see the ocean? Oh, there's Disney's Wish. How about that? Or there's Toy Story 5, 10 minutes of this. And so I can see that happening. Synergy. So you're going to also find timeless Disney characters and their unforgettable stories of exploration through imagined space. Jen, what'd you think about that lobby?
Oh,
when you saw
the lobby, I think it's gorgeous. It's so neat. I love the touches for, Aladdin, but the movie Aladdin, and the fact that the statue in the middle is going to be, well, not right in the middle, but of the staircase.
Probably by the grand staircase. Yep.
Yeah, by the grand staircase is going to be Aladdin and Jasmine, because it's two figures. I think that's a really neat thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens there.
Question 2, and you might know this, the characters on the front, like Rapunzel is on the front of the Wish, but Cinderella is the main statue in the middle.
Correct.
Is that the first break from that where they don't match? Because I know in the Wonder you got Donald on the front and you've also got the statue in the middle.
No, but so the Fantasy has Dumbo on the front with Timothy Mouse.
Okay.
I don't remember, but no, that's not a break. Like it's not, it doesn't correlate. The statue does not always correlate with what's on the front. To answer that question.
The treasure itself, of course, is going to have, like we said, the Aladdin and Jasmine on the magic carpet, whereas the front of the ship is going to be what? Captain Hook and Peter Pan? Is that right?
I believe so. Which makes sense for the treasure, like you're going the more adventurous movies, with everything. You've got staterooms themed to like Lion King, themed to Jungle Book.
Yes.
Which is just super neat.
Yeah. And funnily enough, like they're going to actually theme some rooms to Pocahontas as well. Stateroom themes will include Aladdin, Pocahontas, Up, and Encanto, as well as others. You don't have a lot of Pocahontas love, and Up. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm excited about that.
Although, I mean, when you think like the wilderness must be explored.
Oh yeah, so that and they explore by the house and just it's maybe there are balloons hanging out of the cabin or something. I don't know.
That'd be so cute.
That would be great. Or maybe that's going to be maybe there's a hot air balloon off one of the smokestacks, and that's your cabin as your whatever 50 feet. Probably not. But no, that sounds cool. The Hey Hey Cafe, which is going to be named after Moana's trusty sidekick.
No, it's named after Katie's cat.
Katie's cat.
Also Agent Katie's cat. Sorry.
Is going to be will echo the scalloped seashells and reflective blue waters of the storied southern Pacific Isles. Meanwhile, the Jade Cricket Cafe, which is inspired by Mulan, will honor the Fa family's lucky cricket Crikey, who will be represented by a jade sculpture on the bar top. So those are two things that'll be in there as well, themed after those particular things, the from Moana and from Mulan. Some of the other things we can expect: Sarabi, which is a hub for, it's like Club Luna. And Luna, okay, so I'm going to speak from experience on the Wish, and you can add to this too. But Luna is like this multi-story club almost in the middle of the ship, and they've got everything from karaoke to games. That's where we did bingo. That's where they have like silent disco. Like every couple of hours they change it up, and there's something else going on, Disney trivia or whatever. And I felt like something was happening there from early morning till late at night.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And you can access it from either side of the ship, no matter which side you're walking down. First story, second story. Well, this is going to be Sarabi, which is named after, of course, the matriarch from The Lion King, after Simba's mom, and it's going to be like this basic entertainment hub. It's kind of right there in the middle, and
which is so cool on the Wish too.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's I love, and of course it goes without saying all the things we're talking about here, but I love the fact they're all themed after adventure stories. They're all themed after adventure-y things, You're not going to see a whole lot of Snow White here because she sings around a well and gets rescued. And
she's more on the Wish because that's more princessy, like
right.
You've got the Arendelle, you've got all of that. However, this is more adventure. And
what I don't see represented is Bolt, unfortunately. I mean, Bolt and Rhino, which should be represented because they go on a crazy adventure too. I don't know. I'm just saying. The Aquamouse is making a return, but this is called the Aquamouse Curse of the Golden Egg. I'll be honest with you, this sounds cool, and I love the Aquamouse. I didn't follow the story the first time when I went on the Wish, because I'm not saying you can't follow it, but for me, it's playing like on the screens through the tunnels you're going through. I'm sort of watching, but I'm also freezing because it's cold in there, and like people shouting and people cheering, and I'm waiting for the big hill to crest. And I'm like, I get done with it. I'm like, oh, there was a story. So while this is going to be cool, I don't know a lot of people that are really paying it. People want to go on the Aquamouse. They want to go on the actual thing itself, but this is going to be suspending you high above the upper decks. Powerful jets will propel 2 people ride vehicles through 760 feet of winding tubes, offering breathtaking views of the ocean. And you do go over the ocean slightly.
You do, yes, you do.
I do wish, however, you didn't have to go didn't have to go with somebody. I wish it was a way to go. By
yeah, you do. This is a tandem ride, so you have to have a second person to ride with.
Yep. Now, if you're a family of 3, a lot of times they'll let one person stay in the raft while the other person gets on. When we went on our group trip in February, went on the AEP with other agents from other agencies. There was a group of 3 or maybe group of 5 or whatever. I got to ride like 3 times in a row just because of that. Awesome. People kept coming off and on, which was great. So that was fun. We're going to get the classic Disney Cruise Line favorites returning to the treasure. Of course, the Beauty and the Beast production will come back. Disney Seas the Adventure will come back, as well as the Pirates Rockin' Parlay Party. For dining, we're going to get the World of Marvel in 1923 coming back, as well as the traditional Rose, the Palo Steakhouse, and Enchanté by Chef Honor Lelamont. So that will all be there as well. Did I say that right? I don't know. Did I get it right?
Enchanté is correct. I need to look up. If I'm looking at his name, I can say it properly. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
What I heard you say was yes, that was perfect. So I'm going to go with that.
Sure.
Right?
That's going
to go with that.
Seems accurate.
Of course, the Oceaneers Club will be there. The Edge, the Vibe, and it's a small world nursery for kids of all ages, from your small toddlers all the way up to your teenagers who are just too cool for school. There's a lot of stuff going on in there, which is really, really cool. So it's going to be the first voyage will be a 7-night, as of right now, the 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise from Port Canaveral, taking off on December 21st, 2024, which will be
over
whole
Christmas.
Season. Over Christmas, that's right.
I mean, that's like an inaugural voyage over Christmas.
I mean, a very Merry Christmas cruise is going to be amazing. This is going to be an unbelievably memorable cruise. To go on this one, I think would be fantastic.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it's going to be cool. So you're going to have a whole season of 7-night itineraries from the Eastern Caribbean and the Western Caribbean, taking off on Port Canaveral. Castaway Club members can book as early as September 12th. Bookings opening to everybody on September 20th. Jenn, what do you think about the treasure? What is your first impression, having watched the videos, having watched everything? Just your thoughts.
I'm excited for it, honestly. I think it's going to be a great ship. I mean, I think they, something I heard is like, well, it looks a lot like the Wish. Well, yeah, they're sister ships, just like the Dream and the Fantasy are sister ships. The layouts are going to be very similar, but then the theming and the different areas are going to be slightly different.
Right.
I love that on the deck, and something we didn't talk about is, like they have the quick service on the pool deck, which is escaping me, but it's like you can spot for it's like kind of like Chipotle. You can make your bowls,
yes.
I know it's not really Chipotle, but you know what I mean?
Exactly what you're talking about.
They have the barbecue plays. They have hamburgers, hot dogs. We loved that deck food. Yes, I love flows as well on the Fantasy Dream, but I loved the one on the Wish. So I'm very excited that that's coming back. Excited that the Rainforest Room is coming back because I really like how it's laid out on the Wish.
Yep, Senses Spa also coming back as well.
Senses Spa, of course, coming back. I loved the layout on the Wish.
Right.
I also I think that the adventure theme is kind of different, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited for some of the nods to historic Disney that they're bringing back. Right. So I really think that they are going to do something really cool with this ship. So I'm anxious in a good way to see.
Yeah. As am I. And the colors are different too. It's a different kind of color palette. It's a little bit darker. Yeah. It is that sense of adventure, more browns and beiges and things like that. Well, almost like a treasure map of sorts.
Like a treasure map.
Kind of thing. Yes. So we did say the Senses Spa is coming back. Some of the favorites, like the Hooks Barbary, the Untake Oak Salon, that'll be there.
That'll be back.
One of my favorite places on the Wish is the Marceline Market. I love the Marceline Market. And if you can imagine, for folks who've never been on the cruise, or maybe they don't remember, or maybe you've been on ships that didn't have this, I don't know. I've never been on anything besides Disney cruises, which I will correct that in a few weeks. I'm excited. But with the Marceline Market, you walk in and you go to the left or the right. It's the same on both sides. There is a meat counter, and there is a vegetable counter. There's a salad counter. There's a seafood counter. There's a kids counter. There's a pizza counter. Like all the way down, you get your plate and get as much as you want, all the way down to this massive thing of desserts. And you're like, I'll take a cheesecake, and I'll take a tart. I'll take a and like for breakfast, they have breakfast foods all the way down, and I would just go in and I'd nibble for like an hour. I'd eat, get a small plate of food, go back, get another plate, and try some stuff and whatever. Loved that. Of course, they've got the Mickey's Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods, and they actually have like pizza, like a pizza stand and a barbecue stand and a steak stand and whatever, chili dog stand or whatever. There's all the way
like a salad bar if you want that.
Yeah, salad bar and stuff. And you get your food, go find a seat, go find a spot, go to the pool, go wherever, go back to your room.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it wherever. They're not going to stop you.
which is great. And one of the things I learned on the Disney Wish, and it looks so big, and you said the dimensions are probably going to be around the same.
They'll be similar.
So maybe a couple of feet big, shorter, taller, whatever. It's going to be around the same. But one of the things I loved about the Wish is when you look at the ship and you're boarding the ship and you're like, oh my gosh, this ship is so big. This thing is massive. Once you get in there, after you get orientated for,
you got to acclimate a little bit.
It feels small. It doesn't feel small, but it's like, where things are. Like I'm in the front of the ship and I'm like, okay, I need to get to the restaurant at the back of the ship. I'm there in like 8 minutes. I just walked down the hall.
It's not like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me 20 minutes to walk across the ship. No.
Yeah. It's not like you're at the camera center at Epcot and you're like, oh, I have to be at the outpost, the African outpost in like 10 minutes. It's not like that at all.
That's not going to happen. Also.
No, not at all. Not at all. You might as well just go catch a bus to Boardwalk and then walk in that way because it's going to be a long walk, right? But the ship doesn't feel that big once you get in there. Of course, it's going to be stopping at Castaway Cay. Now, will this be stopping at Lighthouse Point?
So certain itineraries.
Okay.
You're just going to have to look at the itineraries. Like most of the Disney ships will have. I mean, they've announced Lighthouse Point. I don't have the itineraries memorized, but many will do that.
And that's a new version of Castaway Cay. It's another private island that Disney will have. And so with a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of the same things, but a lot of the same feel with the, the kids beach and the family and the adults beach and whatever. So there was that. One thing that actually was questioned was, is there going to be a Star Wars presence on this ship? And right now we don't know. There's going to be a Star Wars presence.
We know that there are still surprises to come. We know, I mean, they have said that. So
exactly.
Well, I imagine that the kids, because the kids center on the Wish does have a Star Wars room. So I would imagine that.
Right. Any other thoughts on the treasure before we kind of wrap this discussion up? I think it looks beautiful. I'm excited.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's something where if you are interested in going on the treasure, you're going to need to book early. I mean, don't wait, because much like the Wish, especially those like the maiden season will sell out. Of course, there's a maiden voyage, but then there's a maiden season. So, like kind of
because people want to go, they want to experience the new ship, and they want to be able to say, "Oh yeah, I was on that ship." Like the third sailing, I was on it, or the first time they went to the East or the Western Caribbean, I was on it, and just they want to be able to say that. I would love to be able to say that. So you're going to set up a fam for all of us to go. I'm sure.
I mean,
trip, right? Sure, why not? Because why not?
How much y'all willing to spend?
Last thing here, and by the way, audience, I did not prep Jen for this, so this is gonna be on the spot.
Oh, great.
D23 or Destination D is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Destination D is this weekend, happening in Orlando, and every other year they have a D23, a big event in Anaheim. They have a smaller version, but still kind of some of the same ideas in Orlando called Destination D. That's happening this weekend. This is going to be where, of course, Josh and whoever, Bob and Zach or whoever is going to be able to come out and make some announcements.
Yes.
Hopefully this is where we're going to find out a whole lot of things to look forward to and talk about and be buzzed about for the next however long.
Right.
Jen, can you make 3 predictions of anything that they may announce, they may say, whatever they may announce?
So first of all, and because this is the smaller one, I personally don't know that like the huge announcements are gonna come out in this one. I think just traditionally they haven't, which doesn't mean they are not announcing exciting things at Destination D. They absolutely do. But if it was like a 5th gate, okay, I don't think that's gonna happen right now.
No.
But
not right
if
now.
that was I don't think that's something that they would do Destination D. I feel like that would be more D23,
Right.
I would think, and these are all smaller scale, but things I would be excited for. I think they might potentially, Jen's opinion, announce some, please, I hope, changes to park hopping to earlier times. Or don't just whatever, no restrictions. That would be amazing. I also think we might hear about some more Disney Genie changes, possibly. And I would not be surprised to hear about an expansion of an existing park, or maybe of an existing area of a theme park, not maybe an entirely new land or whatever, but like an additional ride. I don't know that I'm confident enough to predict a particular section for that. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, here's the thing. And I've been thinking a lot about this. Unfortunately, I have way too much in my mind to be thinking about this, but I'm thinking about it anyway. Right. So here are my 3 bold predictions.
Okay.
And the reason I'm predicting this is because I don't think, and despite what quasi-producer Heather says, I don't think D23 came off huge last year because it was the other Bob's kind of final tenure. Things were kind of rocky. You know, we had to get the new Bob back in, the old Bob back in to kind of smooth the things over. Right. So I don't think so. Honestly, I think they're going to make some larger announcements. Maybe not.
Okay, good. I'm here for it.
My 3 predictions. First, I think they're going to announce the next Disney ship. I think
yes. I would agree with that.
I don't have a name for it, but I think they're going to say it is coming in 2025 at the end of the
year.
They
won't give a name. They won't give a name yet.
But I'm predicting the name will be the Celebration. That's going to be my prediction. Okay. I'm going with that.
I like it.
Or maybe they could call it the Adventure, but why would you call it that if you've got the treasure? Anyway, so because if you have sister ships, and this is going to be the Wish's sister ship, then you're going to have to start a brand new duo with the next ship. So I can see it called the Celebration, and maybe the next one will be called the Party. I don't know. And so they're going to announce a new ship. I am also predicting.
Don't say it like a fact. Yes. Don't let that get taken out of context.
Yes. Well, no, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. And I could be wildly wrong on all of these. I'm confident that I'm right, though. I think they're going to announce a new land, and they don't think they're going to give many specifics. I think next D23 is when they will give all the specifics about this brand new land. I think they're going to hint at some of the stuff they did last year, like maybe a villain's land in the area of Magic Kingdom.
They did.
They're going to hint at it. They're not going to say exactly what. They're going to leave all of us wondering, and by maybe May, it'll be the worst kept secret ever because random websites will be like, Disney filed for a patent for Maleficent's, coaster, a rockin' coaster or whatever. And Disney will be like, we don't know what that is. So I can see that happening, be a terrible secret. By the time we get to D23, like we knew everything. But I predict they're going to announce a new land, hint at something big. And I do think they're going to announce Genie Plus will be turning into an old FastPass system, paid system, where the whole get it in advance. Those are my 3 predictions.
Okay, so we agree that there's going to be some sort of a Genie Plus announcement.
Yes.
I'm fairly confident on that.
Yep.
But and then so 2 of the 33 things we definitely agree on.
Yeah.
I still think we could get the park hopping thing.
That would be great. That would be great. But I feel like that's something, I don't want to say small, but I feel like that's something
I know it's small.
They would just drop it on a random Tuesday and be like,
say.
hey, guess what? It is safe for you to say.
That's
exactly.
Safe.
Exactly. I mean, you do know people, so who knows? Just kidding, folks.
I literally do not know anything.
Neither one of us know anything. So don't be like, who's Jen
But
College?
I think it's interesting for you to say that about the ship. I think that's plausible, but I do not think we'll get a name.
3 more, I believe, a couple of years ago before COVID.
They did. They already said 3. We know 3, and then they bought that 4th one.
Yes, and that fourth one, though, I don't think we're going to see much about it over here because it's over there. It's a different style ship completely.
It is totally different.
Doing is
and it's going to have to be
and I think that's going to stay overseas. I mean, we
don't have a name for it. We don't have any information on it, but yes, we had the announcement for the 3. Then they announced that they bought that 4th one. So
So very nice. All right. Well, those are our predictions. We'll see what happens next week. We'll try to give an update on D23 or Destination D. If it's a big announcement, then we'll have a whole show about it. If it's a small announcement, we'll just do it at the top of the show.
Listen, I'm open for big announcements. I think
I am too.
I'm prepping myself for smaller ones just because traditionally it has been smaller. Does not make the announcements any less exciting when they are smaller. I'm excited for anything new. So
this is going to sound sacrilegious, but I will be at church on Sunday mornings when that panel happens, and I'm sure that I will be on my phone and I will be looking down and just trying to catch up with the news, trying to see what's happening. Well, I take that back. Sometimes they do it like 11 or 12 o'clock on Sundays. Other times they do it in the afternoons. But I will be on social media making announcements.
It's easier when it's D23 because then it's like afternoon hour time.
Correct. So you know what? That's right though, because it happened like early in the day for us last time, but it was actually when did it happen? I don't remember. I don't know. I don't have a clue.
It was early afternoon.
I don't have a clue. I can look it up online. I'll look it up online. See what
look it up. It'll
like.
pop
But there's
up
a park presentation, and I'm sure you'll be able to find something streaming or whatever.
People will have it. Yeah, for
sure. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the Upon Star or whatever. We'll be giving you as much information as possible when that does come out. Jen, where can we follow you on Instagram and all the places?
At Upon a Star Jen, or my personal Instagram is at Jen_Novotny.
Perfect. You can find me on Instagram at The Magic on a Dollar. Find me on Facebook at Magic on a Dollar and Disney on a Dollar. And folks, I got to 1,000 on Instagram. I finally got there. It's a treasured moment for me. I'm so excited. Now, I'm at 1,002. What I need to get is about 1,020 because you always
treasured.
Exactly. Very good. but it's like you always have that dip of you lose 2 or 3, you gain 2 or 3, and I don't want to be like, oh look, he's at 998, now he's 1,001, now 999, now 1,002, now 990. I don't want to be that. I'd rather be like 1,020, 1,017, 1,021, somewhere in there. So let's just keep it 4 digits. I know it's an obnoxious thing, and you're like, David Dollar, why are you so caught up on this? I shouldn't be, but it's a badge of honor.
You need your dopamine hit. You need.
Well, again, Facebook shut me down 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
this is like, take that, Mark. I got to 1,000. I'm just kidding, Mark. Don't shut me down. Don't shut me down.
I was going to say, do you really want to go there?
Start over. So that is our show, folks. You can find us, of course, in all the good places upon a start travel, on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all the places as well. Find the show at themsepodcast.com. That's our website. At Gmail is our email address, and of course find us on all the socials as well. So Jen, until next week, we're going to hopefully have some guests on. We'll talk a little bit of Disney music if everything works out correct, and some D23 Destination D or whatever it's called this time around. So for Jen, I'm Dave, and don't forget to thank your treasured Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.